very much for tuning in this morning. I am excited to be here with you today, and I'm looking forward to today's training. I've been thinking a lot about just skills in general and the skills that it takes to be successful as an entrepreneur, not just as a network marketing professional, but as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. One of the things that I think keeps people from having the success that they want in network marketing, one of the barriers to success in this industry, is that most people don't look at this as a business. They don't look at themselves as a true business owner. They believe that they're doing something on the side. Maybe they're dabbling a little bit. They're trying something out. They joined a little network marketing company, but they haven't fully made that transition in their mind yet to that place where they are true business owners. There's the saying, and many of you have probably heard it before, but if you treat your business like a business, it'll pay you better than any business that you can imagine. I'll give you an example. So if I wanted to go buy a McDonald's franchise today, it would cost me somewhere in the neighborhood of about a $1.5 to $2 million to buy that franchise. And of course, there'd be a tremendous amount of overhead and employees and stress that goes along with it. And then, working extremely hard, I could put myself into a situation where the average McDonald's franchisee owner might make somewhere in the neighborhood of about $25,000 a month when it's all said and done. And I'm guessing that that's going down right now because more and more people are choosing healthier options. And here's the interesting thing. Your network marketing business, we have a business that you can start for $219. Think about that for a moment. Hang on a second. Let me mute everybody out here real quick. Think about that for a moment. $219, and you can own a business, a willable, sellable, transferable business that allows you to be able to declare your financial freedom day. Does anybody know what your financial freedom day is? Your financial freedom day is the day that you no longer have to trade time for dollars. You can do the things that you want to do rather than the things that you have to do. So today's training is all about developing the skill sets, the mindset, the personal philosophy that you need to truly win as an entrepreneur. Now, I've invited some of our leaders to be on the call here with me today. I'm very blessed to be able to have an amazing leadership team that I'm surrounded by every single day. And before we get started, I just want to ask those leaders, I want them to share what they believe is one of the key skills that is necessary to truly be successful, that has helped them to be able to achieve, the levels that they have here in this company or maybe even in previous companies in the past. And so, I'm just going to I'm going to look through here and see who I can call on first. So I see Mr. Richie Hood on the line this morning. Richie, how are you, brother? I'm going to unmute you. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Talk to me, man. So talk to me about skills.
Skills. I think a lot of what we have to do, it isn't necessarily having a skill set. It is a mindset that we have to have. And
what do you mean by that?
We have to remove the emotional attachment to the answers we're getting. As our skill set increases, then the more positive responses we're going to get to the opportunity. But that's the hardest part, is whenever we approach our friends or our colleagues or something like that and they tell us no, that's a hard thing to swallow for most people. And you have to get to a point where you're kind of like a duck and it just rolls off your back and you don't think twice about it. I got to know, I'm moving on to the next one. Jim Rohn, I'm a big student of Jim Rohn, and he always talks about baseball players. Some of the highest paid baseball players are guys who are batting 300, and that is failing to get on a base or striking out 7 out of 10 times. But the guys who are successful at getting on base 3 out of 10 times are making millions and millions of dollars. And so our rates, if we're good, if we're bad, we're getting 1 out of 10. If we're good, we're getting 3 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. It's just getting to those positive responses and removing that emotional attachment to whatever answers we're getting.
And it can be really hard, right? I mean, it can be
Absolutely.
really hard. I shared a post yesterday, and for those of you that maybe didn't see it, I'll share a story with you. So when I first got involved in network marketing, I had a lot of friends, and I use the term friends very loosely. Let's just use the term acquaintances from high school. You know, a lot of them still ran together, and they made fun of me for getting involved in one of those pyramid things. And they were pretty relentless about it, but it wasn't that big of a deal to me. I'd already moved on with my life. I'd already gotten married. I'd already kind of, you know, I'd owned some previous businesses before that. But what was interesting was one of the guys that was part of that circle that always made fun of me for being involved in this industry, and they would do it on social media. They'd make wise jokes. They'd make little comments on my thread. This was back in 2008, 2009 when Facebook had first come out. And I just ignored it. But what was interesting is I had this guy, Rob, who reached out from that group. And he finally started inquiring about my business. And I thought it was interesting because he was one of the ones that teased me. And so I invited him to come to one of the network marketing weekend, you know, events that we had. And he sat there through the whole weekend, and I introduced him to my friends. I introduced him to my mentors. He had a chance to hear from all of the people that spoke on stage that weekend. And I'll never forget what he said to me. You know, when the weekend was over, he says, you know, Travis, this is not at all what I thought it was. He said, the people here, they genuinely want you to win. The people here, like, they want you to be a better person. And I just have never felt so inspired before. And so he actually joined the business, but then he had to go back home. And he went back home and he started to share his excitement with others. And man, they were relentless. They beat up on him, these guys, these same group of guys. And eventually it got the best of him, and he ended up quitting. And I thought about that for a while. And, you know, the biggest lesson that came from that for me was sometimes ignorance is the price that you have to pay, or dealing with small-minded, ignorant people is the price that you have to pay to be successful in this industry. And what's interesting, Richie, about what you're saying is, you know, sometimes we get emotionally attached to the decision. And sometimes it can be your closest friends and closest family members that don't even give you the support that you're looking for. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, a funny analogy that just came to my mind as you were talking about that is, have you ever seen a bucket of crabs or a bucket of crawfish that haven't been cooked yet? And each one of them are, you know, there's always some that are trying to climb out of the bucket. And there's always the other ones that are pulling them back into the bucket. As soon as we make a conscious effort to improve our life and improve our situation, there are always going to be those who are uncomfortable with seeing us achieve that next level, that they're always going to be trying to pull us back down to their level.
It's true. It's absolutely true. Thanks, Richie. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. So let's go over to Australia. Rosanna, how are you this morning? Let me see if I can. There you are.
It is about 1 a.m. here, Travis, and in about 3 or 4 hours, I'm going to be jumping on a plane to go to Melbourne to see Rob Sperry. So I don't think I'll be sleeping much.
You know what? That is true commitment. We appreciate you being here. So Rosanna, first of all, just so you guys know, Rosanna's team is just rocking and rolling right now in Australia. We had the pleasure of meeting her and her amazing team in Sydney. So proud of you, Rosanna, for everything that's going on over there. You're doing an amazing job leading the team. So tell me, what do you think is one of the most important skills that's helped you to be successful in this industry?
Well, there's one thing about network marketing and in our lives, in our normal routines, we have to take, you know, everyone has their daily routines. We can't deny that, whether we take our children to school. I'll be the female here. We cook, we clean. I don't know what you men do. But sometimes you want to do this part-time or full-time, and in this profession, whether you choose to build the business fast or slow, it's important to set aside time and to be diligent and to be aware of time management. So it's important to keep a list, Travis, and always keep adding to the list. And in network marketing, I look at the list like it's my Bible. So whether you connect personally, one-on-one, through telephone or any type of social media, we've got to use the tools that we're given, and do not jump bases, as you've taught us with your baseball analogy. So be careful not to vomit over people. Keep it simple and exciting. Create the urgency. Always be in a hurry, and that's what I do, because everyone's like, what is she doing? She's so excited, like, I've got to take a look at this. And I always do that. And sometimes the less you say is more effective, and it actually creates intrigue. So always remember to collect a decision, And always remember that a no is just not no completely. It may mean no, not at the moment. Never prejudge. And one thing to remember is not to take it personally. We do have to remember, especially in what we're doing now, that only under 1% of the world know about this. So, you know, not everyone's going to say yes. In my life, the way I live my life and what I've experienced is when someone says I can't do something, I love to prove them wrong. So I love this industry because it makes me want to just strive all the time to be the best I can be. And always create a thorough list, whether you want to make a hot list, a warm list, a cold list. Your first list is always the most valuable. So if someone's not ready, always go back, because you never know. Like they do say that the fortune is in the follow-up. So if you don't follow up, then people will think that you don't care. This is a lot about emotion as well. So just have passion. Your vibe is the most important thing. You can say all the right things, but if you're not saying it and you're not excited and they don't feel it, they're not going to care, and they're not going to feel your excitement or your passion. So it's very true. So yeah.
Love it. She just threw a ton of gems at you guys. Hopefully,
sorry.
You guys No. I'm saying that hopefully everybody's taking notes, because you covered a number of different things that are really, really critical. And I was just taking notes, kind of. You guys know me. I'm on my whiteboard, right? I got my speak English and whiteboard, right? So a couple of things she said. First of all, time management. And I think time management is critical, right? John Maxwell says you'll never change your life until you change something that you do daily. And it's so critical because we are busy, because we're moms, because we're, cooking and cleaning and working and doing all of these different things. It's so critical to carve out time that's specifically dedicated to your business. You have to manage your calendar, or your calendar will manage you. So, you have to, I like to sit down on Sunday night and go through with my family. I go through what our calendar looks like for the week. I coordinate with my wife, because there's always things going on with dances and stuff that I need to know about. So I get my family first on the calendar, and then I start to fill in the schedule, and I start looking at who's hosting calls for the week. And then what I do is I start to look at, and I actually carve out 2 hours every day. Richie will tell you this, literally middle of the day, I don't take calls. I will not take a call typically from about 1 o'clock until about 3 o'clock. And I'm very disciplined about this. And the reason why, you guys, is because that's when I'm prospecting. Because I know that is the most critical thing that I can do in my business, is to set the pace for the organization. And if I'm not sponsoring, my people are not sponsoring. And so literally, I will not take a call. If you look at my calendar, it's blocked out and it says prospecting. And that is when I'm reaching out, contacting, and inviting and following up. So time management is fantastic. I love that. The other thing that she said is sense of urgency. You got to have a sense of urgency in this business. Without a sense of urgency, I want you to write this down. Without a sense of urgency, all value is lost. Without a sense of urgency, all value is lost. Everything is now. Listen, I've only got a quick minute. And the other thing she said, I'm always in a hurry. Rosanna, listen, I've only got a quick minute. Listen, it's very important that we connect. What I'm conveying is this is important. We need to connect now. We've got to get together as soon as possible, because things are hopping. There's always a sense of urgency in everything that I do. And you also mentioned the emotion thing again as well. And that's going to be kind of an underlying tone that we talk about today. Curtis Broom, who is the host of GoPro, and he's a good friend of mine and a mentor of mine. Curtis always says that you marry the process and you divorce the results. You marry the process and you divorce the results, which means you have to separate yourself emotionally. You just keep doing the same things that you can control, which is how many people that you put in process, the skills that you're developing, following up, following through. You can't control whether they're going to see the opportunity or not see the opportunity, but what you can control is how many people that you're putting in process. So, Rosanna, thank you so much. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's go over to Mr. Sean O'Neill. Sean O'Neill, so you have been tearing it up here at Kuvera. What do you think would be a skill that is attributed to your success?
Well, I just want to thank the other leaders as far as some of the things that they had mentioned. So they stole some of my thunder with the mindset and positive attitude. Travis talks a lot to us about contagious enthusiasm. And I think that's something that needs to occur when you're speaking to these prospects and you're engaging with people. You know, if we're not building value or bringing value to the table, I think we're missing the boat. And I'm a big Zig Ziglar fan, and you'll hear me say this a lot when I talk to people, is if you are not, you know, you'll get everything you want out of life and business if you help others get what they want. So I'm a big believer in building value through the exposures and the systems that we have. I'm a creature of system, and I like the idea of being consistent with our enthusiasm, but also where it's measured so that we know where people are at in the progression of what we want to accomplish. So I just believe in the system that Travis and Lance and Richie and these guys have built. And if we plug into that system, we will help people get what they want. And what will happen in turn for us as leaders is we're going to get where we need to get to. So I'm a big believer in pouring into others to accomplish what their why is. So I want to find out, okay, if they're interested in this, we need to find out, okay, where we need to get them from building block 1 to building block 2 to building block 3. And I think the more consistent we do that, the more success we're going to have. But you have to do it with enthusiasm, and you also have to be a product of the product. I'm a huge believer in that. If I'm going to try and talk with somebody about the values that we have at Kuvera, I darn well better be on the different products that we have, such as the mining, the all impact, the 4X, whatever they're comfortable in coming in with, we need to be able to build that value. And it's also using the 3-way calls for leverage as well. So those would be the different pearls that I'm using, you guys, to have some early success. And I'm really kind of challenging myself to make sure that all the 80 people in my organization get to Business Builder and above, and be able to do that through the process that Travis and those guys put together.
Well said. I love the words contagious enthusiasm. Mentor once said to me that it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. You know, when I make prospecting calls, I don't make them sitting down. I have to get up, I have to pace, I have to walk. You know, my wife will often catch me out in my yard out here pacing, and I've got to be moving around. I want people to feel my excitement. You know, if I call somebody up and just say, "Hey, Richie, got something that I'd love for you to take a look at," you know, something that I don't know if it's a good fit or not. I figured I'd throw $300 at it and see what happens. Richie's probably not going to be that enthusiastic about taking a look at it. But if I call him up and say, "Richie, listen, I've only got a quick second. You know what? I've got about 30 people that I've got to get in touch with today. But listen, I have something that you absolutely need to take a look at. I'm telling you right now, it may be a good fit, may not. But the last thing that I want is you to call me a year from now and say, 'Why didn't you tell me about this when it was happening?' Listen, Richie, if I sent you a presentation that explains what's going on right now, would you be willing to take a look at it and just let me know what you think?"
Send it over right now.
It's all about just how they got to feel you. They've got to feel you're excited. If you can't get excited about your life, then no one else is going to get excited about it either. You've got to get excited. You've got to get excited. Kim Mangalendon. So Kim is I think Kim sponsored something like 40, 50 people now, sold close to $100,000 in mining last month. Just last month, you guys, just barely missed hitting platinum. Kim, what would you say is a skill that's helped you to be successful?
You know, Travis, I still don't know what I'm doing.
No, there's wisdom in what you're saying. Keep going with that.
Yes. I'm not a network marketer. I'm a traditional business builder, and I have made a lot of money in my business alone. So what I do now is I focus mainly on my energy and my level, and I find out what people's why is. Why they have a job, why they work from 9 to 5, why they still working 40 years. So I ask them what their why is. What's their vision? What are you trying to accomplish keeping a job? Would you like to have more vacation time? Would you like to retire? I asked them specifically, why you continue working? What would you like to do? And, you know, I befriend with them. You know, the one thing the reason I'm successful with Travis. I listen to Travis 100%. I don't know what I'm doing, but if he told me to turn left, I go left. I turn right, I go right. So I'm a follower, but I follow by example. Listen to the leaders. I don't duplicate it. I just follow. And the key to my success in the past is, in all my businesses, I find them, Anthony Robbins, it's like find somebody who is truly successful and do exactly what they do, and you can have the same result. And I'm just following Travis. And to tell you the truth, I do not know what I'm doing, because all I'm doing is following. And one thing I like about it is I don't judge anybody. I talk to everybody. I have a Ferris wheel. I used a method called a Ferris wheel, like the hamster. My son one day he bought a hamster and he ran the hamster, kept running around. So I use a Ferris wheel. So anybody come close to me in 3 feet, I talk to them. Doesn't matter who it is. I do business with everybody. Who your dry cleaning is, who your mailman is. I sign up my mailman. I sign up the people that cook food for me in a restaurant, or I sign up on my dry cleaning. It's like people come work for me. I talk to everybody, give everybody an opportunity, because we got the greatest opportunity there is in the whole wide world. And one thing we're so unique is we're a public trading company. It's regulated by the SEC and the FTC. Nobody in the world have what we got. We got a gold mine. We got to share. We just have to blow up. And that's why I blow up like crazy. I'm still blowing up. Thanks, Travis.
I love it. Oh, my goodness. There was some serious pearls of wisdom there, Kim. Thank you so much. So, listen, Kim calls me one day. He's really excited. And no. I called him. I was following up with him. He had called me. I was calling him back. He says, hey, Travis, listen, I'm at the car dealership right now. And you know what? I just signed up the lady that I'm talking to about a new car. Here, talk to her. And puts me on the phone with this lady. And we just literally had met, and he's bringing her into the business. I got to go over and just highlight a couple of things he just said, because he just shared some absolute gold with you guys. So first of all, he said, find out their why. And he went on to kind of illustrate how he asks questions, right? Questions are the answers, you guys. Questions are the answers, because when you learn to ask the right questions, you can get the information that you want. So if I start asking, how long have you worked here, and do you enjoy what you do, or is this what you see yourself doing? Are you on the right track towards retirement? If I start asking all these different questions, what he's really doing is he's looking for or identifying what their pain is. Because they might say, I don't like my job, or I know I'm not on the right track towards retirement, or this is not really what I want to be doing. And then what he does is he positions himself as the solution. Because now he comes back and says, well, listen, maybe I can help. You see, I've got something that could be a good fit for you. So what he's doing is he's moving from a place of selling, right? Selling is pushing, to serving. Do you see the difference? Selling versus serving. And the key is asking questions. So that's number one. He also said something that was a gold mine, and that was be a great follower. Be a great follower. So leadership, write this down. Leadership is 1/2 leadership and 1/2 followship. You cannot be a great leader unless you are first a great follower. And too many people come into network marketing and they want to do it their way. They say that they're teachable and coachable. Do you want to know if somebody's truly teachable and coachable, you guys? Here's the test. Here's the true test. Go ask their spouse. That's how you find out if they're really teachable and coachable. Now, here's the thing. You got to be willing to trust the system. And so many people come in and they're like, yeah, no, I understand that's how it's done. But you know what? We got to do it different here. We got this. It's got to be done this way. And you got to understand that the system works. The key to duplication is simplicity. Rosanna said it earlier. You got to keep it simple. And so the moment that you start to deviate, start trying to do your own thing, what you're doing is you're losing the ability to be able to create duplication in your organization, because the system, it's all about the average person. When people are looking at your business, they're not just looking at Kuvera. They're asking themselves, could I do this? Could I be successful here? And if all you're doing is getting excited and inviting somebody to watch a presentation, anybody can do that. But if you're the one that's out there that's throwing up on people all the time and saying way too much, not only are you selling and pushing people away, but people are probably going, ooh, I don't want to have to do that. But anybody could be like, yeah, check out this presentation. Anybody can invite someone to watch another presentation. So be a great follower was awesome. He also said, don't judge anybody, talk to everyone. And he mentioned 3-foot rule. You know, who's within 3 feet of you right now? Who could you talk to? Prejudging is one of the worst things. I've done it before. You guys have done it before. We get that chicken list of people that we don't want to call because we think they would never be interested, or, you know, ooh, what are they going to think of me? But here's the thing. You can't pay your bills with other people's opinions. So you've got to move past that and get to the place where you're confident in what you're doing. Kim, great stuff, man. Thank you very much. Keep rocking and rolling. Miss Tiffany McCormick, Platinum, on her way to dance this morning. I don't know if she's available or not. Tiffany, are you there?
I am. I pulled over because I figured I was going to be called up soon.
Well, listen, talk to me about a skill that has made a difference in you're blowing it up. You've got some great things happening in your business, Platinum already, I think in your first month or second month. So what do you think?
Well, first of all, those were amazing nuggets. I'm sitting here thinking in my head, they've all touched on literally everything that I could even think of. I'm like,
right? It's hard to go.
Yeah, I know, that's okay. I'm thinking, like, I actually want to circle back around to what you started the call out on and treating it like a business. I actually originally, my first network marketing company, I fell into. It was kind of one of those accidental things, and I treated it like a hobby. And when I see real people making money in this, I kept asking myself what I was doing wrong. And even now with my 5 years experience in it, I noticed that so many people, they'll do anything to even get to a job. Like they'll work a 9 to 5 and they have kids. And, you know, if you get a flat tire or you get sick or your kids get sick, like no matter what, you will like get your butt up in the morning. You will call anybody and everybody. You'll pump your kids full of Tylenol just to get to your job. But for some reason, when it comes to being an entrepreneur and having your own time schedule, I noticed that, like, you know, I was guilty of it. And a lot of people do it is they have almost too much time freedom and they're not treating it seriously. And then what ends up happening is, you know, we say, oh, my kid's sick, or I can't get on a call because I have this and I can't do that. You know, I always make I always make the effort to be on every call and attend every single event possible, to treat it like a real business, because it is. And what you do, people will follow for sure. So I want to do that. And then also, I really liked I'm always willing to learn. Travis, I learned so much from you. I also learned so much from people that I enroll. I learned so much from the other leaders on this call. So just always having that openness to just continually learn and step out of comfort zones. There's so many comfort zones that I step out of, and I realize that most of the blessings and the gifts that I'm searching for are on the other side of that. So whatever you say, Travis, I do. There's been plenty of times where you've said, hey, can you do the training? And then I start shaking and I want to say no, but I just say yes and I do it, and I learn so much from it and I grow from it. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. So I loved your analogy about, you know, we'll do anything just to get to work in the morning, but yet we don't necessarily take that same level of commitment, time commitment, mental commitment to our business. That was a great analogy, stepping out of your comfort zone. So I asked Tiffany to speak at the event in Sydney. And one thing that Tiffany is working on is her, she's an amazing speaker, but her fear of speaking, she gets a little nervous when she speaks. So, you know, I asked her to speak at the Sydney event, and she got up there and she just crushed it. She did an amazing job, and I'm so proud of her. And I relate to that because I've been exactly where she was before, where I remember being asked to speak at an event like that, and it totally intimidated me. But we grow the most when we step outside of our comfort levels. And so I loved also what you said about just being willing to step out of your comfort level, Tiffany. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I'm going to throw a few more guys at you guys real quickly, and I'm going to go quick so I can give you just a couple of more. And I've got an announcement at the end of this call, so a big announcement that I want to share with everybody. So stick with us here, and I'm going to go quick. So the next one that I want to talk about is connecting with people. You've got to learn to connect with people. Connecting is so important. We were born to connect. The drive to connect is part of our DNA. Think about it from this perspective. When a child is still in the womb, science has now proven that that baby begins listening to his or her mother's voice in the last trimester. Even before we are born, an infant relies on their mother to influence their brain. And after birth, that same child relies on his or her mother for food and for care. And we're not just talking about a physical connection, we're talking about an emotional connection as well. If a baby doesn't receive an emotional connection from their caregivers, from their parents or someone that's taking care of them, they literally could die. We will do almost anything to feel linked to someone else. Do you remember the movie Castaway? You guys remember that movie Castaway? Tom Hanks, right? His character, this guy Chuck, he's marooned on this desert island, and he's there for like 6 or 7 years. And he's able to locate food, and he's able to start a fire, and he's able to find shelter. But what wasn't he able to find? Unfortunately, what he couldn't find was companionship. He had no one to connect with other than himself. His loneliness gets so bad that he resorts to painting a face on a volleyball and putting grass on its hair, and he names the ball. Does anybody remember the name? He names the ball Wilson. Wilson is his only friend for years that Chuck was stranded on an island, and he talked to Wilson. He fought with him, and he even made up with him just as if he was a real person. And when Wilson drifts off, you know, Tom Hanks, when he was sleeping, it's like he goes through unbearable pain when he awakes to see that his friend was gone. And I share that story with you because our basic need to connect influences us both in positive and negative ways, right? Think about it from children who join gangs. They'll often go through severe beatings and do unmistakable things for initiation, just to feel a sense of belonging. And in most cases, it wasn't that they were attracted to a life of crime. They just wanted to fit in. So the word connect, it's a Latin word, and it means to bind or to fasten together. And in business, I have a different definition. So in business, what I would say is to feel and or create a strong bond or positive relationship with someone. It can be an individual. It can be a group like this, right? Our team. It can be a group just like Crypto Club, or something, which is an idea, a cause, or a mission. Think about sometimes people get really connected to a cause. Everybody wants to be a part of a movement. Everybody wants to be a part of something bigger than themselves. And the ultimate result of this relationship should be to add value. That's the key. That's the underlying crutch to building relationships. The underlying value should always be to add value, to uplift, to encourage all of the people that are involved. So the first thing that you have to work on is just those heart connections. You know, you can use your mind to connect with something or somebody, but until you involve your emotions, it's a weak connection at best. And we see this all the time with the people that we enroll in business because a friend or a family member encourages them to join. They make a decision to join exclusively around the notion that they don't want to miss out, right? That fear of loss. But what happens is they fail to engage by getting on the calls. There's people that are not on this call right now that should be on this call. They fail to attend the events. We have an event coming up in August, so they don't go to the events. And therefore, follow me on this. They never fully connect to the company vision. They never fully connect to, what we're trying to accomplish here as a team or as an organization. They don't connect with the other people, and they feel, and what eventually happens? They end up leaving the business because they're not connected. So, there was a couple of years ago, I was consulting for a company, and I was invited to this company event. And they encouraged everybody to dress like a superhero on the first day of this event. I've never seen anything like this before. So 1,000 people in a room, and literally, and by the way, no one told me this. No one told me that this was happening. So I start walking through the hotel lobby in the morning, and I'm seeing grown adults, and I see Batman walk by and Spider-Man walk by, and I'm like, what is going on? Is there like some Marvel thing going on here? And so I go into the room, and I start seeing more and more and more people. And it was interesting because the theme of the event was everybody has a superhero inside of them. It was really, really cool. And I share this with you because it was powerful to watch the bonds that were forged that evening as the speakers in the room were able to help the people that were there recognize their individual strengths and their talents. And together, everybody in that room went through a journey of self-discovery. And the end result was a bond was forged. among the people in attendance, and a deep connection was established between the organization and the company. And I think that that's so critical. And it's the reason why we do calls like this. And it's the reason why we have a community. And it's also the reason, and I want you to hear this, the reason why you got to get on the calls, you guys. It's the reason why you need to show up for the calls. I know you can't make every single call, but you really want to make those things a priority, because not only is that where you learn the skills and learn how to present yourself, but it's about being connected to everyone else. It's so critical. So I know I spend a lot of time on connecting, but connecting is the foundation for everything that we do. The next one is you have to, you really do have to learn to pay attention to other people's needs, right? Serving versus selling. You've got to learn to become more acutely aware of what's going on around you. Sometimes we get so deep into our own thoughts about the stress that's going on in our life, and how am I going to get so-and-so to practice, and how am I going to pay this bill? And so what happens is we start to become so inner focused that we're not paying attention to the things that are going on around us in our lives. And as you start to become more acutely aware and really start to pay attention to other people, you're going to find that in general, people are not that happy, you guys. People in general are not that happy with their life, with their jobs, with their financial situations, with their circumstances. And it comes back to what Kim said. You know, you've got to learn to ask questions. You got to start to become outward focused, not inward focused, and get out of your own head, get out of your own mind, and start really becoming aware of what's going on around you. The next one that I would tell you is, Tiffany and I and Rosanna were in Sydney, and we sat down with a very successful real estate investor. His name was Paul. And there was something about this guy's energy, like when he walked in, that I just could feel his vibration, right? Rosanna said your vibration is so important. So I put vibe up here. Your vibration is so important. This guy comes in, and he just, he's in great shape, very just good vibration. And so we sit down, and he shares a little bit of his background. And this is a very, very successful, real estate investor. And so, I believe that there's always something that we can learn from everyone that we sit down with. So the first question that I asked him is, I just said, listen, if you don't mind, I would love to know a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me a little bit about your background. I never jump right into the business. Why? Because that's a sales pitch. To me, you have to have dialogue and connect and get to know each other a little bit. So you guys, if you've ever been on a three-way call with me, you know how I start every call. Listen, we can talk about business in just a minute, but before we get started, tell me a little bit about yourself. Anything that you're comfortable sharing, I'd love to get to know you better. And so he starts talking a little bit, and then I asked him, I says, what is the key to success in your opinion? And the number one thing that he shared, and he shared about 5 things, but the number one thing that he shared was having a positive mindset. You have to live with a positive mindset, a positive expectation that something amazing is going to happen today. You know what? Today is the day. Today is the day that that my life is going to change. Today is the day that I'm going to meet that person that is literally going to get it, and they're going to run with this business, and they're going to go, create a $1 million organization. Today is the day that my life changes. And you know what? It takes courage, and it takes fortitude and all, willpower, all of these things, hope to get out of bed every morning and tell yourself that. And sometimes it doesn't happen. But I loved what he said about having a positive mindset and expecting success. You guys, if there's one thing that has attributed to, the little bit of success that we've had in our life, it's I expect success. Like, I genuinely expect to win wherever I go. I expect, like, to the point where it's almost a fault. Like, I expect, like, if I'm like, if I'm even play, if I'm at a baseball game, and they have this here at the baseball game, the Diamondbacks games, they sell these raffle tickets that you can buy, and they sell them throughout the first 7 innings, and thousands of people will buy them. And so I'll always just buy one, and half of the money goes to a charity and half of the money goes to the person. Like, I literally expect to win. Like, every time that I don't win, I'm like really disappointed, because I feel like I'm supposed to win. And I share that story with you because I expect to win. I expect to go to the top of this comp plan. And if you expect that you're not going to be successful here, if you expect that it's not going to happen for you, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get whatever you expect. You don't perform up to what your hopes are. You perform to what your level of belief is. And so some of you have to start raising that lid a little bit more. So let's keep going. You need to learn to value your time. This is a big one. You need to learn to value your time, because if you don't value your time, other people will not either. I'm very careful about who I give my time to. I'm very, very careful. Over close to 1,000 people in the organization now. lot of requests for calls and times, and I'll be frank with you. You know, as much as I would love to get on calls and just chit chat and gossip and do all, I don't have time for that. So I have to be very, very careful about where my time goes, because you know what, as your organization grows and gets bigger, and you know, and then of course you add in your family responsibilities and all of these other, you know, your children, and if you have them, and all of those things. The biggest challenge for me is I just feel like I never have enough time to get back to everyone or call everyone, and it overwhelms me sometimes, and it keeps me up at night because I feel like I'm not doing a good job. So I have to be so careful about, and it comes back to that time management, but you have to learn to value your time as well, because if you don't value what you bring to the table, not just your time, but the opportunity and the skills that you bring, other people are not going to value it either. So you got to truly value your time. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and you know, no matter what, I always get somebody that, you know, and I don't blame them. I get it, but I get people a lot that request for me to do things on Sundays. And Sundays is my one day that I genuinely want to commit to my family, because I just don't have, you know, I'm busy so much throughout the rest of the week. So I really try hard, and I rarely make exceptions to do things on Sundays, because for me, I need that one day to be able to let my family know that they're important to me. So if you don't control your schedule, it'll get overwhelming very, very quickly. So you have to guard your time and make sure that you're investing in the right people. So that's very, very important. Another thing is you have to stop spending time with people who aren't ready. You got to stop spending time with people who aren't ready. Some of you guys are trying to drag people through this business, and I can just tell you that it won't work. It's impossible. You know, until someone is ready, there's just not much that you can do other than go lead with inspiration. You lead with inspiration, not perspiration. You lead with inspiration, not perspiration. So I can't push Richie to do anything. But what I can do is inspire Richie to do something based on my activities and my actions. And I know Richie well enough, because we've worked together for long enough now, that anytime that I pick up my sponsoring, so does Richie. I don't even have to say anything. If I start sponsoring and I really, really start getting going, and I'll go put 10, 12 people in, Richie's activity increases as well. It's just a psychological thing. It's contagious, right? It comes back to what Sean said, contagious enthusiasm. So you have to, you can't drag people through this business. You know, some of you guys are trying to motivate. Here's the saying: it's easier to give birth than to resurrect the dead. It's easier to give birth than to resurrect the dead. And sometimes people in your organization, no matter what you do, they're just not ready. It's not their time yet. They're not feeling the right pain yet, or the motivation's not there, or whatever the case might be. But that's something that you can't control. Remember, you have to stay focused on the things that you can control. That's probably the biggest thing that I would share with you today, is you have to stay focused on the things that you can control. Another one that I would share with you, a skill, is learn how to give a fantastic presentation. Learn how to give a fantastic presentation. How? By practice. Practice on people. Practice giving the presentation. Download the presentation. Get used to sharing it. My goal is always to become was always to become as confident as I could at giving the presentation as soon as possible, so that I could start scheduling appointments and start giving presentations. You know, it took me maybe a day or two or three where I leaned on my upline, and then after that, I was done. I was like, okay, I'm going to learn how to go give this presentation. And so, you know, when you start learning, there's a saying in this industry: he who has the marker makes the most money, or she who has the marker makes the most money. So learn how to present. It's a gateway skill that will take you far in life. If you really want to take your business to the ultimate pinnacle level in this business, learn how to give a fantastic presentation. The next one I would tell you is learn that not everybody will get as excited about pursuing their dreams and be okay with it. I used to just get so frustrated because other people weren't as excited about they weren't as excited about me reaching their dreams as I was about helping them get to their dreams. And it would drive me crazy. You've got to just be okay with it. You've got to be okay with it and just say, listen, you know what? Again, it comes back to some people just aren't ready. What I'm looking for, you guys, is I'm looking for people that are looking for me. At the end of the day, I know that there's somebody that woke up today that said, I'm sick and tired of my current circumstances and I've got to change. And they're looking for a solution. They're open to solutions. So I am looking for the people that are looking for me. I'm not here to convince anybody, beg anybody, drag anybody into the business. I am here and I can promise you this. The majority of the people that woke up today woke up with some type of discernment, some type of concern, some type of frustration about their life. And I can promise you that we have the ability to make a difference. Think about it. The three things that people are looking for most: they're looking for more time in their life to be able to do the things that they want to do rather than the things that they have to do. We have residual income. It'll give them to them. They're looking for better health. You know what? When you have peace of mind from not being stressed so much financially, guess what? We can help them to have a little bit better health. And they're looking for financial solutions. And you know what? We have the ability to be able to give that to them. So most people today that are searching for something, we have the solutions. You have the golden goose, guys. You have the golden goose. I'm not just talking about from a financial standpoint. Hang on a second, getting a little feedback here. Let me mute out real quickly. Mute everybody out. Okay, so you have the golden goose. And I'm not just talking about financially the machines that produce money, right? I'm talking about the opportunity. You have the solution that people are looking for. And just a couple more here as we wrap up. Always remain teachable and coachable. I think that was covered up here. I think that that's extremely important. Learn that it's not about you ever. Right? The moment that we start to think the deal is about us, it's done. It's always about others and helping them get what they want in life. Learn that the number one way to grow an organization is to grow the people inside of that organization. It's the reason why we do these calls that we do. And finally, learn that there's no shortcuts, automated systems, websites that will match or replace hard work, period. There's nothing that will replace work ethic, nothing. You know, just following a proven plan of success and committing to developing the skills through spaced repetition. What is spaced repetition? Just doing it over and over and over again. And then you've got to learn never to quit on your dreams. Never give up on your dreams. This is your dream that we're talking about. It's time to wake up and really start to go after your daydream, because you can accomplish it here. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen short term. But I'm telling you guys, within a couple of years, you could be in a position where you literally can do the things that you want to do in life. And it all comes back to what Rosanna said, daily consistency. It's your daily routine that'll take you to your daydream. It's your daily routine that will take you to your daydream. Now, hang on, I'm throwing markers around. Okay, so I am going to, I'm going to share just a cool announcement with everybody here as we wrap the call up. First of all, hopefully you got some gems today. There was, I always think that when I'm on a call like this, I look for the 1 or 2 or 3 things I really needed to hear that day. So hopefully you guys heard that. And I'm going to go back to Rosanna real quickly because Rosanna wanted to add something. Rosanna, hop on, talk to me.
Thanks, Travis. No, I just want to say something. Everyone, I just love everyone on this call, and every single one of you are so valuable, and we are so lucky that we are first in this. So everybody deserves to win. I mean, it's like going on a line, Travis, like a kid's line, a school line, and someone pushes in and you're first, right? So we're first. So we got this, we can do it, and everybody deserves to win. And I'm just excited. I want to see everybody's face up on in recognition posts and stuff like that. We were here, and everyone else is coming in after us. So I just want everyone to go out there, achieve your goals, be so determined. When I get a no, it's like, thank you. Like, at least you're not giving me pain, you're not wasting my time. It's like, good, get the no and move on. And be excited to get the no. You know what I mean? I get excited when I get a no. It's like, yeah, good. Okay, I'm on to the next one now. So I just want to wish everyone well. And thank you very much for your call, Travis. It was wonderful. And I just want everybody to win.
I love it. Thank you, Rosanna. All right, so big announcement time. So first of all, before we hang up, I'm going to ask everybody, if you're in a place to do so, to turn your camera on. I want to do a selfie with everybody. So I want to do a selfie with everybody before we wrap this call up. But I'm going to share just something I've been working on with you guys. So for those of you that are looking for a little bit of extra coaching, for those of you that are looking for a little bit of extra mentorship, I put up a post about a week ago sharing my goals for this month. And I had a lot of people reaching out saying, look, I really would love some extra coaching and mentoring. So for those of you that are truly committed to taking your business to the next level. For most of you, that means getting to Business Builder, where you're at least part of the $5,000 or $6,000 a year club, $500 a month club. Here's what we're going to do. So I have put together a VIP coaching program that we are going to be implementing. And then let me share my screen so you guys can see what we're talking about here. So I put together a VIP coaching program specifically for those that are really wanting to take their business to the next level. And this coaching program really is for the people that are ready. Like if you're not ready yet, like if you're just not there mentally yet, this probably isn't going to be for you. But this is really going to be about taking things to the next level. And I'll kind of share with you the things that I'm going to be focusing on. Number one is leadership development. I think that the key to growing your income and growing your influence is growing your leadership development skills. And so we're going to be really hammering in on leadership development, how to lead an organization, what are the things that are important. I remember when I first started in this business, I had a mentor by the name of Brad and another one by the name of Steven, and they taught me the difference between just joining a business and that being a hobby and this being a true profession. And it was the little nuances. They say, don't pay attention or don't sweat the small stuff. You've probably heard that saying, don't sweat the small stuff. In this business, the small things, the little details really are the big things. And so I'm going to be hammering into that a little bit. Things like just, what's the when you do an event, what's the procedure for holding that event? And how do you intro a call when you first get started? All of those little things are so critical. Presentation skills. If you want to be a presenter and be on our presentation team, we are putting together kind of a formal, here's what has to happen. We want the presenters that we have to have hit certain milestones within the plan. So we're going to be introducing very soon some specific, if you want to be a presenter, you have to have hit X rank and you have to be able to, confidently be able to deliver a presentation. So we're going to be working on the little nuances when you give a presentation that will make it a great presentation. Accountability, right? We're going to be providing accountability week to week. What are the numbers, the daily numbers? What do your numbers look like? Mindset and personal philosophy is everything. And finally, skill set. So these are the things we're going to be talking about. And here are the requirements to be a part of this coaching program. So listen, in the past, I literally have charged thousands of dollars to coach people in this capacity before. I'm not charging anything. You guys are my team members. You're my family. Here's the only thing that I ask is I'm looking for a little bit of a commitment. I'm looking for a little bit of skin in the game to show me that you're serious. So what we're doing is anybody who is ready to commit, number one, this is for anybody who's ready to commit to going to Business Builder at 1,300 in May or higher. So that's number one. Number two, the calls are going to be on Friday at noon, 3 o'clock Eastern. I understand some of you can't make that. They will be recorded. So you will be able to access those recordings. You have to be on an all-in pack. To me, it's not just even about the product. It's about a mentality, right? Like for me to be successful in anything that I do, I have to have an all-in mentality. And it comes back to what Sean said earlier. You have to be a product of the product. You should be aware of at least Forex, and you should be aware of Crypto One. Those are foundational products. And so for me, you have to be on Crypto One if you want to participate in this coaching program, all in. If you're not, call customer service on Monday. If you want to be a part of the coaching program, just tell them that you want to be on the all in. Next one, you have to have a mining contract set up. Now, some of you, if you can't afford a mining contract yet, I'm going to give you an alternative way to qualify. You just need to put one person into your business the previous week to be able to get on the next call. I'm trying to make it where there's at least something that you have to do to be on the call. Again, it comes back to value, right? I want people to truly value the information that they're going to be receiving, and I want them to work for it. I want you guys to, it's about commitment. So again, you either have to be on a mining contract, or the alternative is you've got to at least qualify by putting one person into the business the previous week. And finally, registration is going to open this week. I'm going to put a link up in the next probably 48 hours where you can go in and put your name and your information. We're going to compile a list, and that private Zoom will be sent out to you, and those calls will be held on Friday. Again, this is not something you have to do. This is something that I'm going to put a lot of time into, and I'm looking for the people that are hungry. I'm looking for the people that are truly ready to take their business to the next level. So in closing, I think that's all I've got for you guys. Let's go ahead and turn our cameras on. First of all, are there any final thoughts? Is there anybody that's just sitting there in the chair dying to say something right now, and they just want to share something? Anybody have any final thoughts that they'd like to add before we open it up? All right. Did we silence the crowd? I think we silenced the crowd, everybody. All right. So, Joe Bell, jump in. Go for it.
Travis, I just wanted to say I'm overtaken with gratefulness and gratitude that we, all of us on this call, and a lot of folks who are on our team who aren't on the call this morning, have the ability to have a leader like yourself, and the other folks that were on that shared this morning. you know, Cheryl and I listened this morning to a podcast about the power of a team, what a small group can do, and how all of us actually do a better job when we're linked arms with somebody else of the same mindset, you know. And I'm just I'm grateful, and I want to say thank you, and I want us to all just lift that up and maybe hold ourselves in that gratefulness as we get ourselves excited to make those phone calls and to share, you know, to share this opportunity, be it a customer opportunity or a business builder opportunity. But I just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts this morning. And I believe I'm speaking for an awful lot of people on this call when they say, yeah, thank you. Thank you for the generosity of your time and for all the leadership of this team. I want to link arms. I want to become one of you. And I'm doing that in May so that I can share even more as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. We love this team. We are a family. Anybody else have anything they want to add? I think, Darcy, did you guys want to hop in? And Al, you guys have something you wanted to share?
Yes. Hi,
hey
everybody. We just want to say thank you. This is such an amazing team, and we're so happy to be a part of it. And just one thing that's really important for us is just to never give up. You can change your reality, so it's all up to you. And it's a great way to make your goals and know where you're going, and then do it.
We are the living proof that you can change your reality. A month ago, we decided to change our reality, and we sold our business, we sold our house, we sold everything, and we put in all our time and our passion and our love into this amazing company. And it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be respected by you guys. And it's a pleasure to help as much as we can. So we're here to help anytime. Just give us a call. You know where to find us.
Love it. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you all very much. I'm going to do a quick selfie here. I can't get everybody on. So we have two screens. So I'm going to take two pictures and I'll put them together. So if you don't mind, turn your cameras on for me real quickly here. Hi, Sarah. I love seeing you on. All right. So, all right, let me do this. So let's go ahead. And this is the first one. I have to do two here because I got two. So everybody say hi. Everybody wave. All right. There's the first one. One more. All right, there's the second crew right here. I love it. I love it. I love it. One more. And 1, 2, 3. Say cheese. All right, guys. Great training this morning. And anybody else, if the mic's open, so if anybody wants to share, they're more than welcome to. That concludes our training today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Travis. You're wonderful. Thank you.
Have a nice
Thanks,
weekend.
Travis.
Good stuff, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's get to work.
Thanks, Travis. Thanks, Travis. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks.
Hey guys, by the way, if you're still on, drop a comment in the news feeds and the Telegram chat and on the Facebook page. For those that were not on, let them know how excited you are about this morning's training so that they'll come back and watch the recording. So please, if you would edify the training call, let them know that they missed out this morning. They need to be on these trainings. Thanks, guys.